Now, a great deal of the sciences that I researched, first, I knew what I was looking for through my own experiences. Um, like I said, I could notice that I wasn't getting sick. I noticed that weather could be controlled. I've taken computer programming, so I know what's in the bigness is the same thing that's in the smallness. I know these business rules. We have business rules in our brain. It's left brain thinking. People that are depressed have the same rules, the same thoughts being replayed over and over and over again in your mind. There's a lot of things in my reality that I could see what the problem was, but I also could see what the solution was. But it's like if you try and tell people, nobody believes you. They kind of laugh it off. So that's why I was searching for science to prove what I was saying. And a good part, a great deal, comes from holodynamics. This guy is a friggin' genius. Basically, what this guy has done is combined all sciences together and came up with this concept of holodynamics. Um, he is missing some parts. He doesn't have the complete answer. He claims this concept can solve every problem known to the human experience. And I can't find any contradictions within the sciences that he's created, other than it can't identify the unknown problem, which is a very easy fix. And basically, if this guy wrote all of these books and he's been curing cancer and AIDS and mental illnesses and addictions for over 30 years, this book should have been on the bestsellers list. So that's like one of the contradictions. He contradicts his own work, but the science itself does not contradict itself, other than it can't identify its own problem. So, but I mean, it gave me a headache trying to even read this book because it's extremely scientific, which might be one of the problems, is he hasn't been able to write these books in simple terms so you can understand it. A lot of it is quantum physics, neurology, psychology, biology, um, the deepest sciences, information theory. Every science is sort of combined in here. Now, one of the examples that he uses is this Cleve Baxter. He created the polygraph, and they've done some experiments. This was even done on a TV show that's incredible, or that's unbelievable, or one of these shows where they did this experiment where they took a swab out of some guy's mouth and put it in a petri dish and hooked up these both EEG machines, which EEG machines can measure brain waves. They can tell basically if you're alive, which every time you have a thought, you create a wave. And this is experiment measures the distance this wave can go. So what they did is they hooked up these EEG machines, or lie detector machines, to these petri dishes of cells that were taken out of the subject's mouth. They placed them, one guy was placed in a different room and was given a Playboy magazine. Every time he seen something that stimulated his brain, in the other room, the cell in the petri dish would go nuts. So you could tell what this guy was thinking just by this EEG machine, and it was in a different room. Then they had this girl that she was miles away walking, and down some bad street or whatever, and anytime she was threatened, or then the EEG machine in the petri dish would go nuts. So your brain waves have more power than you can friggin' think. But you are controlled by the Illuminati through suggestions. They have to throw a suggestion out at you so that your subconscious brain will create the brain waves that control matter. And all matter. I've said this my entire life, that the strongest form of energy is thought. If you control what you think about, then you can control how reality is created. And just think about that. If you have a thought that says, um, I'm going to have bacon and eggs for breakfast. First, you have to have the thought that you're going to have that. That thought makes your arms move, makes you open up the fridge, makes you grab the egg, makes you grab the frying pan, makes you fry that egg, and then all of a sudden, in your reality, you've created bacon and eggs. But none of that happened first until you had a thought. So that's how suggestion works. That's how these movies, that's how um, music all works, is it puts the suggestion in your mind, and your subconscious mind creates a wave. There's particle and wave in our reality. And this wave that's created through our thoughts is actually controlling the particles in our reality. And part of science has discovered in the quantum, in the very smallness of our reality, a mountain, if you look at a mountain, none of the particles are actually touching each other. But in the bigness, we think it's solid. But in the smallness, it's not solid at all. So what is holding everything together? What is making this volcano in the Gulf oil come out? What is making all of that poison being spread over there? It's our thought. And it starts with fear. If they can get you into fear and anger and frustration, then they can control what you think. And that fear creates a reality that you should be fearful of. But if you can somehow be stronger than evil, somehow be stronger than the suggestion, and be peaceful and calm and trusting and faithful, then that's how miracles are created. You don't know how, so it looks like it's a miracle. But that is the science of it. So basically, if a globe got together and had positive thoughts, love feelings, fearless thoughts, if we all had these thoughts together, that oil can stop. That miracle can happen. If you visualize that oil stopping and you believe it, that's everything has to do with beliefs. So you cannot have a doubt. You have to just magically go around saying that thing's going to stop. And you have to go around praising that this thing is going to stop. So much that you believe it, that you're excited, that you're looking for that miracle to happen. And that has the power to make all of that stop. That's what evil does not want you to know. Evil does not want to let you know how much power you do have. And that is the power of God. We are all evil works through people, but the God experience works through people as well. Now, in the Gulf, there is this voodoo, black magic. You guys do have some sense that there's a little bit of power. If you took a voodoo doll and put a pin in it, like you can, somebody that has that energy, that belief, and that power, they do have the power to make that happen. So it's the same thing. But do not be evil, because most of us don't know what we're doing. Even the elites don't know what they're doing. Forgive, for they know not what they're doing. And if you want to create a loving experience, you have to be loving like Jesus. Forgive those who are killing them. You cannot have any evil inside you, otherwise you create the experience for you to have to reflect the evilness that's inside you. So this is science. This is something that has come up with the cures for a lot of illnesses that we have. They use this kind of stuff, and it works. This is how you spontaneously heal, is you have the belief. You start visualizing, you see it gone, you feel happy, you have a belief without doubt. But There's a part in the Bible that says two minds are stronger than one. That has power. That's why we all have to get together, all be of the same mind to create the miracles that we need to create.